Our next guest is giving us a crash course in downsizing, whether you're clearing out your storage, settling an estate, or if you're just moving into a smaller space.
Yeah, Matt Paxton, he's a leading downsizing and decluttering expert who's been helping people for almost 20 years now. He's been featured on Hoarders. He hosts his own series, Legacy List with Matt Paxton. And this year, he released a book called, and I like this, Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff.
That's a fantastic title.
Well, easier said than done, but we're going to find out. Matt's here right now. Good morning. Welcome to New York Living.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, Matt, so let's just get into the why. Why is it difficult to get rid of stuff? We were just talking in the break. I just moved this summer, and it was very easy. I was like, just go. I haven't looked at you, so just go. But there are people who, you know, it's hard.
It's not that easy for me, you know.
And one of them is sitting right next to you. And the issue is, this is why we hold on to stuff. We hold on to stuff because it reminds us of the people and the memories that are attached to it. We actually don't care about the item. We care about the people and the memories. And that is why it's so hard to let go.
Yeah, I mean, to get to a point, whether people at home know this, my wife had passed away a few years ago, but she left notes all over, handwritten notes. Literally, while she was sick, how to work the washer and dryer, handwritten notes.
I mean, I would have kept that
I
too.
I do. Anything that was written by her, I tend to want to hold on to, but she wrote a lot of notes. You know, where do you draw the line on something like that emotionally?
So for me, it is, you really got to take your time, right? Because of those exact emotions. And it's different for everybody. What I really push on both my show, Legacy List, and my book, Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff, is you've got to tell the stories. You've got to take the time telling the stories and really share those memories because basically when you share the memories, it lets you actually let go of the item. And I create what we call a legacy list. A legacy list is exactly that. And a list of 5 or 6 items that mean the most to your family history. And so can you keep 1,000 notes? No, but man, those top 5 are pretty awesome. And I would encourage you to keep them.
Sure.
Right.
So it's really, the object, the memory never goes away because you remove the object.
Right, right.
No, and that's the whole point. We don't want the memory to go away. We want the memory to celebrate. So I actually want you to let go of other items that don't matter so that you have space for those amazing memories.
Right.
Yeah. I like this. I love the legacy list, but even before we get to the legacy list, you say start small. What does that mean
Super
exactly?
small. Yep. I say 10-minute sweep every night. The hardest thing is getting started because you're so overwhelmed.
Right.
So I just say go 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes a night. It's called a 10-minute sweep. And then pick a really small area like the dining room table that's now just filled with junk mail, or your bread making prep from the pandemic.
Your
like whatever
sourdough bread.
Have,
right.
Yes. Whatever you have on those spaces, 1 foot, 2 foot by 2 foot, 10 minutes a night. That's it. It's not really about what you get accomplished, is that you are getting started and getting something accomplished.
Baby steps.
I have an interesting question about this because I literally just did this, and I have a partner who I didn't have a lot of his stuff. He came to the relationship later in life, and so there was no like, should we keep this? I kind of just went, I'm getting rid of this. But our viewers are likely saying to their partner, or to their like, do you want to keep this? I mean, how do you manage that when one person wants to keep it and the other one is like, heck no?
That's why I talk about, that's why I have a lot of customers. But at the end of the day, it's just stuff. The relationship matters more. Tell those stories because your partner might actually have a different view on that item once they understand the story. It is all about the stories. It is never about the stuff. I cannot stress that enough. And then you might find out you want to give it to someone else as opposed to keeping it if you hear the full story.
Right, so what tips do you have in terms of when it comes to not necessarily giving, but maybe selling? Maybe some of these items have value and you want to cash in on that, so to speak.
So I'm big on emotional value, not financial value. Right. But sometimes you need to sell it. And every item has 2 values, emotional and financial. So be clear on which one matters most to you. That comes out when you tell the stories. Then you're going to really make sure you look around online, sell the item. But I really focus on donating first. You will never be happy with how much you receive financially for the item, but you'll always be happy with the joy you receive by giving it away.
Now, I know you're in a joint family of 7 children. So
Holy smokes!
So there's always a lot of stuff. There are things they do. There are arts and crafts. There are little tutus they wear in the dance recitals, little baseball uniforms.
The pumpkin they made in pre-K. And now they're 27.
Right, but well, that's what I ended up dealing with by the time I emptied out the house.
Yeah.
But my point is, do you sort of purge along the way? Like, I waited until it was all said and done, the kids were out of the house, and now I've got 20-something years of
we call this, in my industry, we call this mediocre art, right? And it's really, really awesome. You love it. Your kids are incredible, but you can't keep it all. I take a picture of all of them.
Oh.
I take a picture of all of them. I have the kids pick their favorite one each month.
Oh,
And then at the end of the year, we keep one. We keep one
Just one.
item, and the kids pick. The kids pick it, not the adults. They pick their
I
favorite.
like that.
I did the opposite of
He
that.
should do this for a living. He's very
You know
good
what?
at this.
You
He's got
may
great-
have a
You might have a career in
have
this.
a career in this.
I might make it. Yeah, I'm 22 years in. I got a couple more, and we're good.
Just a little
Pretty
bit,
savvy
right?
about this stuff.
Matt, I do the opposite of that. Every year, at the end of every school year, I look at my two boys and I say,
What
I
goes?
say, what do you want to keep? And I let them, and then I literally.
So the key there is you're letting your kids have the voice, and you're doing it yearly. You have a pattern.
Right.
So that's cool. I love that. Either way, as long as you have a pattern, it's consistent, and the kids have a voice, it's going to work out in the end. At the end of the day, man, if they don't want any of it, we're all going to die, and
Right.
someone's going to pay me to come pick it up.
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, focus on living,
True.
not managing your inventory of stuff. It's about, life is about, like that guy just talked about all the cool things this weekend. That's
Right.
what life is about, not managing all your stuff.
And I may or may not have used that line with the boys. I said, listen, all this crap,
By the
I'm going to
way-
be dead, and it's your responsibility.
be
And they
your
were like, oh, actually, you know what? Take it to
It could
Goodwill.
go. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. And the important thing also about other things, like there's certain items, the way we get rid of them,
Right.
let's say, information, shredding is important if it's that
Shredding
kind of,
is the older you get, the more important it is to shred. Hire a professional to do that. Just in my number one moving tip, hire a professional. It's not worth your time. Your time is worth more than you think. So value your time at $25 an hour on everything you do, and you'll make better decisions. But shred, and on your information that's important, back up your backup. Have a separate backup of your pictures and your documents. Have that in a safe somewhere.
Okay, before we go, I always like to ask the expert how they handle this. So how often do you declutter in your home? A family
Every
of
other hour.
Every-
We're minimalists, man. So we are equal in, equal out. We live in a 2,200 square foot home with 9 of us, and so if someone
Wow.
brings something in that's going to stay in the house, something of the same size has to leave. Believe it or not.
I love
And,
it.
How else could you have 9
Our
people?
life is about our life's about experiences. It's not about
Right.
stuff. I mean, our biggest issue now is we have a birthday tomorrow, and the kid hasn't asked for anything because he doesn't really have a lot of stuff anymore.
Oh, wow.
I like this.
That's a good parent.
I need to go back and
Bravo.
start all over again.
gonna
I'm
say,
on
Yeah,
the
I'm
33 and
skipping
28.
over.
It's too late.
Yeah, I'm skipping over 10 years of really hard work.
I'm sure.
But
I'm sure.
end of the day, life is about living that stuff. Get rid of it, you won't miss it, I promise.
I love
You
it.
start with that philosophy, and the rest kind of falls into place. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Yep.
Matt, thanks so much.
Thanks
this
so
was great
much.
information.
Guys, thanks so much for having
Appreciate
me.
it.
Great to see you. Of course, you can stream full episodes of Legacy List with Matt Paxton on mylegacylist.com, and also follow him on Instagram at I am Matt Paxton. Get the book, keep the memories, lose the stuff.
That pretty much says it all, really.